and action. Firstly, let me just say that this video might be hard or even offensive to somebody, but that's not the meaning, or that's not what I want to do here. This is these are my personal opinions, and I think I know that everybody's situation in life is completely different. Everybody has a different background, but I have been thinking about this, and I really wanted to make this video, so hopefully I can assert myself correctly and maybe also give you some ideas, some fresh ideas. And so I want to talk about happiness, and that might sound like a simple word or a topic, but what I want to say first is that I think we all have a foundation for life that is built early in the childhood, and my childhood was great. Basically, I had both my parents were just awesome and loving and caring, and we had a house. I had my own room, and just the neighborhood was good, and I had friends. And sure, getting into the early teenage years, everybody has a tough time there. I'm sure of that. And but I was a skinny nerd, and I was teased a bit, and I had some self-esteem issues. I had a very bad skin and so on, but I had this. I think the foundation that I had, it's built at home, and so I think that what it gives you is that like me, I get these mood swings. Like I'm sure everybody gets that. I feel down from time to time, but I don't stay. My mood doesn't stay down for long, so it kind of bounces back quite fast. And I believe that's only because that is because I have a stable foundation, and it comes from the childhood. And parents really they have a tough job to provide that foundation, and I'm very, very fortunate in that, and that I had that. And so it kind of it helps you through your whole life. And so I know a lot of you might not have that. You might have had a tough childhood, and maybe your parents were not home or something like that, and I can't imagine how that feels, but I know that it creates, or it can create, a lot of problems and issues later in life, because I think that it's just that your foundation is not so stable. And so that's for the preface of this video. And the second thing I want to mention is that there is this, I don't know if it's a study or what do you call that, but I think a couple of years in a row now, Finland has been selected or voted or whatever, the happiest country on earth, basically. And it is kind of a meme here, or if not a meme, it is a topic that we sometimes like to laugh about. That, oh yeah, we're so happy here. And Finnish people are very introverted. We are very inward type of people. We don't have that. We are like the complete opposite of, let's say, if you're in the States. We don't do that, small talk, how are you doing, and stuff like that. We're kind of, we like to be by ourselves, but there is this Finnish people are very warm and welcoming, but we're not so outspoken, if you could say that. But anyway, that's the study, and we're supposed to be very happy. Well, I guess the study is about just different criteria, kind of like ranking your society as a whole, and not looking at to rate people's subjective experience in life. Like there is corruption and other criteria like that, and I guess the medical help you can get and so on. So on those fronts, I think we are doing fairly well. No question about it. But the subjective happiness is maybe that's a different thing that the study really doesn't match or examine very well. And I have a couple of books here that I wanna mention, and again, I'm not an expert on this. These are just something that I have found very touching and very altering in my life. And this is maybe you have seen this. This is from Viktor Frankl. Basically, he was captured in the Second World War and spent a long time in these camps, concentration camps, and he was like, it's been a while since I read that, so I don't remember everything very correctly. I might make some mistakes even here, so bear with me. But he was moved around from one camp to another, and he was basically facing death several times, and like they split the people in two groups or different groups, and this group goes there, and you know what's gonna happen. But he was always at the last minute kind of picked to another group that stayed or survived. And then he had some, I guess he was making food there and doing these maintenance type of chores for the German military. So he had this job that kind of covered or protected him in a sense, but and the descriptions he tells in the books are just horrific. And he could see when I remember this part where he described somehow that when he could see, he could tell when a person had lost hope, basically. It was something like they stopped eating completely, or just the look on their face and the expressions and everything, and he knew that this person would not survive anymore. And it is reading stuff like that is very, I think it's good that you can get a little bit of that perspective of how horrible it was there. I mean, the worst conditions maybe ever in human history, or if not the worst, very close. But there was something inside. I'm gonna use his first name. Something Victor did that kept his optimism and his hope alive. He had something inside him that he just, I guess, he didn't want to give up hope. And maybe happiness here is the wrong word or the wrong term, but a lot of the people lost hope completely and gave up, but he didn't. And it's a very inspirational story. And like here I don't want to offend anybody, but I guess the message from the book is, or what you can take from it, is that if he could keep his hope and his optimism in those conditions, why are we not having optimism, or why are we not happy? Because like for me, it's just I have this beautiful house and everything everything is really very, very great, but still we get frustrated and we get unhappy for some reason. And so that is like one of the, if you haven't read this, I highly recommend that. It is one of the most influential books I have ever read. And another thing I wanted to talk about, or another book that has been very, very influential for me, is this. Basically, there was Freud and Jung were these big names in psychology or psychiatry, but there was a third one called Adler, and he was overshadowed by these two legendary people in that field of study. But I guess Adler's philosophy or thoughts and ideas are just lately have been becoming more, known or more studied. And there is, I think, basically what he thought was that anybody can be happy, and it's a very, very radical message when you just hear it, because like I mentioned in the beginning, everybody has a different situation in life and different struggles, and not everybody is dealt a good hand in life, right? So saying that whatever you have had, you can start being happy today, it's kind of a hard message to swallow, and it doesn't kind of sound right or doesn't feel right. But Adler believed in that, and he didn't believe in trauma, and it was quite opposite what Freud and his buddies thought. But it is this. The book is called the Courage to be Disliked, and it is. I think it's written very well. There is basically this young guy who has all issues with self-esteem and so on, and he goes to this old wise guy, and they start having discussions, and the old person is obviously representing Adler and his ideas, and then this young person is rejecting them in the beginning, and is rejecting them quite far in their discussions, but slowly starts to accept the ideas of Adler, and slowly starts to accept that that we are in control of our mood, and we are in control of our happiness. And this was very eye-opening for me, and I had the same reaction in the book when I started reading it, that this is nonsense, and it can't be like this. And you kind of have this you want to fight those ideas, and you have this instinct first that these are wrong. No, that's wrong. I have to fight this. And you're like that young person going to this older wise man that is speaking these words of wisdom. But it is not for me to say that you can be happy, because I don't know your situation, and maybe I don't completely agree with Adler, but I found his ideas refreshing, and I found that it is a optimistic view in life, and it is kind of like a beautiful way to think things. And these two books kind of combined in when I thought about them, that basically what Adler was saying, that you can start being happy today if you want to, and then Victor was in this worst conditions that you can even imagine, and maybe he didn't stay happy, but he kept his optimism and his pride and everything. So we can learn from that, and this is something that I try to think when I start feeling unhappy, that it is usually these things that don't really matter, but I guess we all have this, that we kind of make things bigger than they need to be, right? We have something unfortunate happens and we make a big thing out of it, and but I guess that's how things are. That's normal. I mean, we are living this. This is my reality. I can't even start to imagine what it was like just during the war times. What it was like. I have no idea. What can it do to you mentally? So when something happens in our reality, it can be minor things, but they are still things that kind of make something for the worse. So it feels like we're in pain and so on. But I like reading stuff like this, because just getting different perspective and stuff that really makes you think. And I've read quite a few self-help books, if you want to call them that, but there is no one thing that's gonna change your life. There is no one magical book or magical chapter that's gonna change everything, the way you think and way you do things, and like like you will stop procrastinating forever and start becoming this very successful person and so on. I don't think there's anything like that out there, and but I do believe that people can change. Some people think that people can't really change, but I think that is just a very negative overall way of thinking. You know, I think we are capable of change, and it just requires it requires work, and I think it requires more work mentally, more work, that you have to read something and you kind of have to really think about it. Then you can maybe apply something new in your life or some changes. But I like this type of stuff. I like humbling myself if it's possible, because again, I can't say what your situation is. I hope you are doing fine, but times are quite tough at the moment, and they might get even tougher. So I know a lot of people are struggling, so it can be very hard to stay optimistic and have this confidence in things, or confidence in the future, because things might seem that they are just taking a turn for the worse all the time. And but somehow I think we must appreciate what we have, and one thing or one way we can do that is to study these or read something that really gives you a different perspective. And like I'm sure if you have a bad day, but then you read something like this, you probably don't feel that bad anymore. If your issues are trivial, really. I mean, obviously, if you have severe issues with your health, for example, reading that is not gonna help. But just try. It is hard sometimes, but always when I try to do this when I get frustrated, when I get unhappy, when I think life is not fair and bad things happen and this didn't work out. I try to. This is kind of my way of turning it around, so to say. And if nothing else, maybe I think reading in general is in these times of everything being digital, I think it is even better than it has ever been, if it's possible. So if nothing else, just I hope think about reading either one of these books. Just give it a try. If you have a library, I'm sure they have these, and I'm sure it will give you something. And this was a hopefully I was able to articulate what I'm thinking in a sensible way here, and or correctly. And again, everybody's situation and background is different, and I don't want to underestimate anyone's struggles, because they are real, and everybody's reality is different. But that's all I wanted to say, and hope you maybe learned something, or hope you got some new ideas or got interested in these books. And thank you for watching, and I will make another video hopefully very soon. Thanks. Bye bye.